The many Yu-Gi-Oh anime are known for having some dropped storyline, and in this series, we take a look at forgotten characters or plot points, or in this case, entire companies. Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. In this video, we are asking the question, what on earth happened to Seoul Technologies? From the chess pieces, to the King Galaxies, to the Hanoi Spy, there are many dropped storylines around Seoul Technologies throughout the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS anime, and I will try to lay them all out for you and do my best to answer the question, what happened with all of these storylines? And why was this mega corporation involved in so many forgotten plot points? I hope you all enjoy. Seoul Tech is one of the most important companies in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. They are the company that are in charge of Link VRAINS. When I escapes, they seek to recapture I in order to regain access to Cyberse, and of course, they have to deal with the Knights of Hanoi in order to try and accomplish this goal. Even if you're not too familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, I'm sure you probably know this man, Akira Zaizen. He's one of the top employees of Seoul Technologies and is certainly the most famous and well-known character that works within Seoul Tech. Well, in the very first episode, we see Akira Zaizen talking to a chess piece named Bishop. Now, it's important to note there are other chess pieces that fade out before the Bishop is the main one Akira talks to. Very early on in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, these chess pieces appeared a few times, dauntingly standing over Akira while clearly instructing him to do certain tasks, whether it was to gain a control on the Link VRAINS situation that was going on with I, or whatever it was. It was very clear that these chess pieces were probably the top people in the company. However, these chess pieces were quickly faded out of the show. We soon stopped seeing them entirely after about the first dozen episodes, and instead, as soon as Season 2 started, we got a new Seoul Technologies character named Queen. Now, it's unclear if Queen is also the queen chess piece that we assume exists based on the chess pieces early on in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS existing, but Queen shows up in her human form, and she is clearly the top dog at Seoul Technologies, and is very, very cold and callous, directly responsible for the brutal dissecting and killing of the Earth Ignis. Queen's fate does not end very well, as she duels against I at the start of Season 3, loses and falls into comatose, and Queen is never heard from again. Her fate, her status, whether she's even alive, will always remain a mystery, and she was seemingly written out of the show after this point without any second thought, just like the rest of the chess pieces, funny enough. And at the start of Season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, we also got introduced to new characters, the Kings, which are said to be three major stockholders in Seoul Tech. So we're not really sure if these chess pieces are like the owners or stockholders, or maybe both, because you can be a stockholder and be, the owner of a company as well. But we're also not sure if these kings are the same kings that we saw as a chess piece early on in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. They have one meeting with Akira Zaizen after Queen falls into comatose, and literally never show up again. They are literally present for about 20 seconds. And just like the chess pieces early on in this show, it seemed like these kings characters were maybe going to be very important, and maybe Seoul Technologies was going to play a massive role. I mean, why else would you either introduce or reintroduce characters this late into the show if you weren't going to do anything with them? Well, the three kings are never to be seen again, and the chess pieces' presence within Seoul Technologies remains even more of a mystery. And there's also a couple of other weird dropped storylines regarding Soul Technologies. Revolver basically confirms to Playmaker and I that he has a Knight of Hanoi spy that works at Soul Technologies that is feeding him information. While it seemed like this was definitely going to get addressed at some point in the show, the Hanoi spy became a dropped storyline and almost a meme at this point in the Yugioh VRAINS community, as it was never brought up again. I had theorized that maybe Hayami was that spy. She was so clueless and innocent that I think it actually would have been a great ruse if she was this calculated individual that was trying to go after Soul Tech for whatever reason and working with Revolver behind the scenes. But of course, that's just a theory, and we never got anything definitive on this Hanoi spy. Another major plot point that was dropped was that Soul Tech was trying to capture the Ignis in order to create a new AI with free will. Blood Shepherd described it as a high-performance Ignis. I always thought that this was supposed to be the divine Ignis. You know, we had the light Ignis, the wind Ignis, so on and so forth, but we never really had a divine Ignis. Now, that's also kind of what maybe Bowman was symbolically trying to be, but Bowman did not work with Soul Technologies, and so I have to imagine that this plan was different than the Bowman storyline that we got. So there were just so many dropped storylines when it comes to Soul Technologies, it really makes your head spin. And the question is, why was this the case? Well, in my opinion, there's two massive reasons. The first, Yugioh VRAINS had a director change very early on in the show. After 13 episodes, the original Yugioh VRAINS director actually left and a new, younger director was brought in. We're not really sure why this happened, but I believe that the first director, who did the first 13 episodes and had a big part in that, wanted maybe the chess pieces to actually be important characters. And then when the new director took over at episode 14, they decided to just forget about the chess pieces and the higher-ups at Soul Tech. And that's why the chess pieces really were only a thing in the very, very early stages of VRAINS. The other big reason is I still believe that VRAINS was cut short by 6 months. Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS came to an end in September 2019, which shocked a lot of us, as Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-off shows had gone for 3 full years since 5Ds. And so if VRAINS was going to go for 3 full years, it would have went until March of 2020, and if that's the case, we would have gotten about 25 more episodes, and VRAINS would have had 145 episodes instead of 120. I think with these additional 25 episodes, Soul Technologies would have been a big focal point. I also think maybe the other Ignis would have been brought back into human form, but that doesn't really have much to do with Soul Tech. I think the Soul Tech company had a lot of really, really good potential, and it is amazing that you could make like a top 5 video of dropped storylines in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS alone, just based on things that happened regarding Soul Technologies. There were a lot of really interesting storylines that were laid out that were just never expanded on when it came to Soul Tech. And I think the show ending probably 6 months early and the early director change are 2 big reasons why a lot of these plot lines were totally dropped. And ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed. I'm happy to be making another What on Earth Happened To video. If you have a character that you feel just disappeared or totally fell off the face of the earth, let me know down below. I'd love to maybe make a video on that character and try to get to the reason as to why that happened. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any comments, maybe things I left out, leave them down below, and I will talk to you down below. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.